Welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Make sure you hit that subscribe button just right down there. We're also on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio app. My next guest, shout out to Ange for hooking this one up. She's in a Swiss Army knife type looking outfit right now. She goes by the name of Ventage. What's poppin'?
What's up, Nico?
No, you also curated this genre called God, it literally just left my head right now.
Spoken
Soul.
Spoken Soul.
Spoken Soul.
And that was curated maybe 4 years ago with my manager, Dig Life, Dreams into Goals Management. He walked up to me. I was walking down the street one day. I was like, come into this barbershop. I'm throwing an event, and I have an artist performing. She's on Pandora already.
Yeah.
And so they were going through what they were going through as far as like the work and things like that. And so I spit a poem, and it had like whatever. I sing and I rap and I do poetry.
Yeah.
And so he was like, you need a genre. And I literally was like, dope. I would call it Spoken Soul. That would be like my first album. I would call it that.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was just like me. I really have a hard time expressing like what Spoken Soul is. But other than like, I like to hear what other people like, they know what it is.
So see, like
for the branding of it.
Once Ange told me like Spoken Soul, the first person I thought, aside from you, the first person I thought of was No Name.
Nice.
And then when I started listening to her music, I was like, okay, this is like nowhere near No Name, because No Name is very much just like slam poetry over beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Spoken Soul is kind of like a combination between like a more poetic vibe, adding like this soul R&B to it. And to me, it's a lot more like calming.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
And I like, someone told me that I have like Tourette's or something. Because like when I perform, I guess like I like tap into, this is probably really
No, that weed is hella strong. It's like blowing into my face like, oh shit.
At the lunch table. No smoking at the lunch table.
Nah, you good.
But shoot, like people would tell me I would like just tap into something and like I would just spaz out like into my flow or the rhythm of the rap or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I like to take things and run with them because it's not a lot of opportunities where people come up to you and tell you exactly how they are feeling when they listen to what they've heard from you or if they're even listening to you. So for somebody to say like she has Tourette's, yeah. I kind of like it because it's like an artistic point of where like it's like you have to experience it. Like,
well, you know, I've always felt like people who are, I guess, diagnosed with those certain things always think on a different tier than I guess what like normal people would, if you want to like call it that, because I mean their level of thinking is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching this Netflix show. And this kid knew like every single species of penguins, and this kid like kind of had like a very similar. He had autism.
Yeah,
and
it's so like I mean like we're human, so like for us to understand things that are around us, we're gonna like break it down into so many different words to minimalize it, but we have so many fucking words it's just like these people are human and they're artistic as fuck. Like, that's just all we are. And if you don't let them be what's in their heart, they won't fulfill what they are needed for and their purpose in life, which is, I feel like we're needed to heal each other. Yeah. We're needed to gain a tribe, to change hearts of people, to push away the evil things that we're so scared of. When we come around, there is none of that. Like, and I believe, like, when a person is autistic, like, they're not really, like, these people are so talented, really. We're just, there's so much of a contrast. It's
kind of like we're afraid of the talent,
right,
of how good they actually are.
Yeah, like, have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
I haven't, but I heard that's a great movie.
Gosh, like this dude had impeccable talent, and my boyfriend and I were talking about it, and he was like, my boyfriend was telling me like, it was almost like he had no true way to channel his art truly. Because there was almost just always something around him bombarding the art from coming out. It's like then there were people who were trying to structure the way that, there's money involved and all these physical things. And we, the contrast of physicality is already here. We just need like more faith and belief and manifestation and all of that. Like,
yeah. Well, I feel like it's the artistics who are able to manifest these things much more clear. And it's like, I find that a lot of people who are extremely artistic don't necessarily have the means of like verbally expressing themselves in the right way. Like it doesn't come out right, I guess.
Not at all. It don't come out right at all. Because like I'll have a complete conversation, or I'll write a whole song, and the beginning of the song is the end of the song, or it's the middle of the song, or it's the first bar is actually the hook. Like, and I'm realizing like, damn, like, you know, after I've said what I said, then we'll take a step back and we'll look at it and see if it's something that's fruitful for others to.
Well, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, it's I've seen this autistic woman who literally does like symmetry circles and things like that. And like, she has a whole museum and she's like autistic like they call her autistic. And she wears all these like bright random colors with squares and polka dots. Like, it's very exhilarating to watch. And she's like block painting dots and like they're selling shit. She's hopefully making guap off of this stuff. She's at a whole museum. And I'm like, okay, people are stepping back and realizing when she spends time with herself, she's making some stuff that is fruitful for the world to take in and feel. I can actually feel her now. There was so much of a contrast that now I can understand her and feel where she's coming from. It's like having a baby in the room. Like, I understand there's a baby there. So now I'm going to feel that contrast of nurture. And now I know what to do. It's like, because we don't have no understanding, we lack to fulfill what's needed.
Well, it's kind of like you don't necessarily believe something until you actually witness it. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people growing up always told me, like, look, the day you become a man is the day, like, your child is born, right? And I was like, oh, okay. I've seen, like, childbirth, like, in videos and whatnot, but I've never really believed it. But every time I've been in a hospital and I've seen, like, babies come out, there's, like, something that comes to me, like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real. Like, this is actually happening. And
like, now I got to do something of the nature that's truly of me that would be, like, pure in my heart. Like, what would I do? Some people don't treat children well.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, to not have that in your heart before you have a child, like, that I have to be nurturing. I have to take care of them. I have to be strong. I can't be tired. Like, this child's going to be up. Like, it's going to be hungry. She's going to be hungry. I'm going to have to cook. These things are things that you should know how to do for yourself before. And, like, I wouldn't know because I don't have a child yet. But
I feel like your music's your child.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, when you care about something, it's like, damn, like, you know how to treat people and living, breathing things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know, you being like a very artistic person, especially in the music realm, and just piggybacking of this entire conversation we had so far, like, I think your song "Sip Me," like your latest song, actually encapsulates all of that because, like, there's moments in which, like, nothing really seemed like it was made like in one go around because there was a moment where it was like slow and then you just like spaz out really quick and I was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like those artistic times in which, like, I feel like you're just piecing together the same way you saw that one woman like putting everything together.
Exactly. And it's like, you see people tap in and they work out and they're like, people are tapped in, like, bro, like, when I see you do your interviews and things like that, you're tapped in. Like,
thank you.
Exactly. And because I can watch it. I can watch a person. I can feel that energy. It's like, you can't reflect some bullshit back. Like, it's like, yo, I like when you smile in that picture. Oh, yeah, I like when I smile in that picture too. Like, I mean, it's a little corny, but like, it's, unless you really truly know the person, it's hard to feel that energy of, like, if a person's being real or not. And I feel when a person has a passion, and I can be inspired by it. It's not this nigga is, okay. Yeah, like, it's just so, okay, like, you're really personifying a true conversation of artistry and artists so that they can be understood. Because that's the thing. It's like, you listen to the music, now I want to dive into the spirit and dive into the artist, because then you find people who flip, like, whatever, like 6ix9ine, or we could take Kanye or whoever, and we're like, you know, we look at their story, their music was everything, but their story is not what I'm fucking with.
Yeah.
And so, but, you know, that's what I
feel like those are like the trials and tribulations that come with, I guess, having such like a genius mindset, you know, because there's times in which like I rack my brain and I feel like I'm going crazy. So imagine somebody like a Kanye West who is probably one of the biggest celebrities in the world, has the biggest celebrity wife, and is arguably like the greatest like musician of like our generation. Like that's a lot to handle just in one person's head.
Yeah. Very true. And I'm like, well, I have forgiveness. I have God in my life and I believe in Jesus. So through all of whatever is going on in anybody's life, I have to have forgiveness. I have to forgive the person. Where's the testimony in dragging somebody or throwing more weight on them so they can have a horrible life so you can go live good?
Yeah,
where is the greatness in that?
That's the worst.
So it's like I'm thankful for these people putting jewels into music. But you know what? I'm going to pray for these people and I have to have faith that they will grow, because then it's like I always tell the story that we'll never see a person change when we just leave. Like, oh, you'll still see them as the same thing 10 years from now because you weren't around them to see what they were doing or to see how they were changing, or to go, hey, bro, come kick it with me. We're not going to do that, but come kick it with me because I understand I've seen you do that too many different times. This time, come roll with me because I understand that that's not what I'm about. And if you want to kick it with me, then there's got to be something. There's a relationship. And so that relationship can fail if a person says, nah, I'm not dealing with that shit. It just takes that, you know?
Yeah.
But to have forgiveness brings a tribe. It brings a real tribe. It brings a real tribe. Like, people have gone through hurt, and there are women who have gotten raped, and they build these, these women empowerment things where, we pamper women. We teach women about health, about physical health, so that these things don't happen to them when they're out and about, or, being sanitary and things like that. Like, there are women out here who do that off of just some bullshit happening and turning it into a piece of pie everybody can eat. And it's not sour anymore. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at in my music is forget about the sour. It's like, there's people that are going to be sour out here. They can come kick it with you and they won't be sour anymore. As much as we talk about these people playing their part, we have to play our part. And that otherwise that conversation will just continue to dive us into a darkness, and we'll feel like, oh, this shit is shit. This generation is shit. Like, and it's not. It's really not.
It really isn't shit. Like, I think this generation is just like so hung up on all the negatives to the point that we just get jaded that there's actually some good stuff that happens in the world. Like, you can take any situation, for example, right? Like, let's say somebody gets raped. And obviously it's not a good thing, but there's something to learn from it in which, like, we can have conversations like this and be like, okay, well, this person got raped.
Where's the testimony in
fuck
I mean? Men? Like, there's a bazillion men on earth, and we're going to submit it only to one category that is of anger and hurt and no desire of change. And it's just, the same thing equals the same thing, and you don't want that. That's what we're going in. It's like the evil person wants us to go in cycles. They don't want to see us change.
They want us to remain
mad in this still place where that energy is in the, like, it's like, I like to say to myself, if a person is angry, they have to live with that.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking as well. You're going to live with that shit. That's you, boo. Okay. You're going to pull up like that. All right. Because they have already situated themselves. They know how to eat, sleep, shower, and all these different things just like you. We just need to realize our weapon is just as deadly but lively, and it brings life. It's not that we can't kick it with these people, because it's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to, we're not going to be able to sit in the same room with all of these billions of people. But really, it's the tribes. It's tribes. Like, it's the tribe that matters. And it's like there's continents and there's fucking states and all of these different things. And we figure out how we can organize and drive and things like that through some momentum of physical shit, but nothing spiritual, nothing faith-wise. It's like, I believe in you, so I'm going to give you I've been working for this interview shit, so I'm going to give you a free interview because I believe in you, and this shit's going to pop off.
Yeah.
Because what you do, you've worked for it, and it's special. It's like, I'm not going to pull up to the interview and I seen some bullshit on your channel. You're fucking dope, dude.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And Angie did her thing.
No, yeah, Angie, she did, man.
ciphered me in here.
You linked everybody. Look,
That's
you
the
got
tribe.
you got the donuts here.
I didn't get she brought the donut.
You got. You feel me?
I don't want the drip, the whole donut. Those nuts. I'm just trying to eat
nuts.
with y'all. I'm gonna throw them in the oven in a minute.
No, well, I feel like getting down on those in just a bit, man. Those
Exactly.
look hella good. I used to eat like donut holes like at this little liquor shop like right next to my middle school like every day.
too.
It was like $2 for 12 donut holes. I'm like, man, that's a
Yep.
steal.
This is like, man, maybe like $6 for this whole box. I'm like, damn, they still on
Oh
it.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What flavors you got in here?
I got buttermilk right here. I got regular glazed and chocolate underneath.
Okay, I don't think I've ever tried a buttermilk one.
How many can you fit?
Oh no, no,
How
we're
many
not,
can
we're not
you
doing that. We're not doing that. We're not talking about how many balls I can fit in my mouth.
I feel like I would love to talk about that.
I would do a hard pass.
I'll do a hard pass.
Really?
So tasty, really good.
It's on Normandy and Century. Big donut hole. Don't miss it.
Look at you getting the free plug. Man, I'm like in this very artistic
It's
space.
so much,
like
right?
my mind is just very stimulated
Right.
at this point. Or it could just be the weed, just like vicariously just going through me.
And
Ventage.
these are very thick too. Like they are better when they're warm, but like very moist.
I could use milk.
Right.
I have milk.
Ooh. Drip, drip.
You like almond milk?
I love almond milk. That's the fire.
Hell yeah.
Get some protein in you, real protein.
Hey, what's that tattoo over there?
Oh.
Or you got a lot actually.
I went to New York, and before I turned Christian, I got all these tattoos, which I'm not regretful of. I love tattoos. And this one I got symbolized as like energy. It's like my performance hand. I like put my mic in this hand. And so I found like some art, first art I seen, I was like, I'm gonna use that as energy and throw that on my hand. And my homie did it for $15. His name is Young Sinatra.
Jug?
In New York City. It was like my first place. I went with my friends. And I got this one. It says coexist. I even have Scientology on here with like the Christian
Coexist.
cross, Jewish symbol, the man and female peace, the
And you got all that before you were Christian?
yeah. Because I just believe in the unity. You see, like, I believe, like, without the desire of, like even if you're, like, atheist, you want to be connected. Like, people love, like, whether you're going to say it or not, you love partnership, you love companion, you love somebody that you can look in the eyes and say, you're my friend, and I love you, and you have my back, you've had my back, I'm going to be there for you, and laughing with him and having real joy with him. That's just it.
Mm-hmm.
And so before any of that, all of that, the point is that is still. That is still written that we need to be here for each other.
Yeah.
No matter what, that you're human, I carry weight, you carry weight. Why would I bring bullshit around you? You know, and if I'm bringing bullshit around you, we should have enough accountability to say, you know, bro, let's go do something else. Let's go do this. Or, you know, are you okay? Are you feeling good? Let's go outside. Let's step outside, smoke, or whatever. What you feeling like doing? How you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because all throughout life, we can have whatever we want to have, but people are going to feel and people are going to hurt. And that is the living testimony of being there for somebody.
So what prevents us from getting anything that we want? Because I want to know your perspective on that.
Me?
If I get one of these donut holes.
Me, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. Without him, I have nothing. I don't feel like I have anything. I feel like I'm human. I'm just a body. Like it says in the Bible, the Holy Spirit is the Lord of hosts. And to have that, like you think about that, there's so many other spirits out there that just bob around or how about like the fact that, you know, like there are, to me, I have faith in these things, that there are spirits that are dark spirits and good spirits. And
For sure.
that these people, these spirits can host your body and host your brain and get you into these calculated things that are in cycles that aren't of you to break out. And God doesn't do that. God doesn't allow me to stay still and stuck in a place. He actually, my boyfriend gets upset with me because I have it so real in my life that I'm like, if it's messy, that's a fucking spirit. Like, if we just keep having this shit messy, that's a spirit, dude. Like, because, and I'm saying that because we already have this shit locked down. It's something else that we are letting in through energy of others because we are believing that they have had it all or whatever. So we care. So we let that seeping, that when care happens and love happens, there's a lot that pours in.
Yeah.
And you open your eyes and your ears to everything the person is saying, and it can tarnish and hurt you sometimes because you're putting them first. And you're not pouring in the what truly you really are. You're putting it aside for their care. So you're going, no reality for them, no reality check. But I'm going to listen to them. And guess what? It's pouring into me. And now I'm okay with half of the bullshit that I really am not okay with. I talk about it every day and complain about it every day. And so I've come into a time where I don't complain. I don't complain about anything. It's been a minute since I complained, actually.
That's good.
But like Jesus literally, he's the reason why my music sounds like this. He's the reason, you can listen to my music I dropped 4 years ago and nothing like this. I wasn't even singing the way I'm singing. I don't even perform the way I perform or talk to people the way that I talk to people. It's completely different. I felt as if I had like power or some shit like before, like everything was very like I have power out of physical things, like I'm already physical. I fucking can have a baby. Like I can buy a car and go to fucking Mexico. I can, you know what I'm saying? How much fucking more physical do we need to be? We need to realize that when I talk to you, sis, you're just as special as her, but just as different. Like that. Because that's when we realize our separations to come together and build a real tribe. That's why y'all rock together.
Yeah.
Like you feel
because it's that idea that like energy attracts energy. So even going back to like that discussion in which like, a lot of shit's hitting the fan and you're just like in this constant state of madness, like hypothetically speaking, you could just be attracting like all these like bad spirits towards you.
Or you could have already ate them and they're just sitting there because you've already indulged.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't fuck with them no more, but you act just like them. Oh, you don't fuck with them no more? You ain't got no forgiveness in you because you dragging that shit with you and you believe that that you're not like them, but you're carrying the same character that they would do. It's also like like in these newer religions, they have this word called valence. And valence is when you are around somebody and you start acting like them. And you start laughing like them and all like whatever. And it's just not you anymore. And you realize it. And you need to continue to be you. Because people will come around you and will try and don't even know it, but they're sifting their way to make you believe that you're still you, but confining you in some type of place that has no true foundation that is in your heart to be fruitful to everybody else and be fruitful to yourself. It's like, it's really a long sentence, but it's very true. Like, so you hang out with these people and you're thinking they're your friends, blah, blah, blah. And like, you ever hang out with somebody and they're like, oh, I've been dating this guy, fuck this guy, fuck this guy. I'm not kicking it with you. Why would I kick it with you? You're not gonna be. How would
Reasons
I trust?
Why I left the Bay.
Why would I trust you as a friend if you bop like that and you sit here and tell me about that stuff? You would potentially, possibly do the same thing with me, and I'm not even talking sexual.
Yeah.
Like I need a friend.
So, but like, couldn't you also argue because I'm a believer in Christ, right? Too.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
Amen.
couldn't you also argue that like, Jesus, he just had this outrageous idea that he was like the son of God and whatever. And like, he got his 12 disciples, he got all of them on board. And then couldn't that one person, like Jesus Christ, hypothetically also be like that person who like is like trying to like get to like this group of people? Then you end up like talking like him and then believing in him and then, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Like someone other than Jesus.
Yeah.
Like being the one, like being the son of God.
Because like, back in those days, people probably looked at Jesus like, this motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy. So then we see other people who like start all these random religions and are like, well, these motherfuckers are crazy.
Yeah. And then like, it's of course, like there were things that were popping then he was a baby. Like there were things that were popping off before he was born. There were kings and kingdoms. And that was the thing that the gospel, like there were prophets that had to bring the gospel to the kings and the kingdoms because they were the fruit for the whole city, for everyone. So if they didn't have that gospel, it didn't matter who brought it to them. They had to believe. They had to. somehow. And if they didn't, I mean, whatever, that's their relationship they have
Yeah.
with God. But like, Jesus didn't have to drag his own cross. He didn't have to die on the cross. He didn't have to do any of it. It was his faith.
That's true.
Only his.
He
And
definitely proved it
yeah,
in his ways.
right. Because there was a homie that was supposed to go with him, and what happened? He died. He hung himself. He hung himself on his way to Jesus dying on the cross. I seen it in the movie. What was that movie called? Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
That movie is sick. Whatever.
It was like 3 hours long.
Right. I'm like,
Love it though.
I slept in it a little bit, but and I even watched it in the foreign language. I was like, let me see if I understand this.
What language was that getting spoken in?
Arabic.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, no, not Arabic. Sorry. What's it called? Hebrew. There it is. But like nobody has to do anything. Like my mom didn't have to take care of me.
So then when did you decide to convert?
Well, I was balancing chakras for like 2 years, and then I was a Scientologist for about 11 years. So, and my mother's clear, and my father's a Scientologist.
Wait, what do you mean by clear?
So clear, like on they have this chart. So they have this chart basically where you can go spiritually for spiritual salvation, spiritual freedom.
Okay.
So it's kind of deep. And I worked my way out of that. Thank you, Jesus. And because, the second commandment says you're not supposed to worship any God or any image or anything that is like, my God is jealous. And why? Because he cares for me. Why? Because he wants me to be inside of a kingdom where I can live in love and not have any type of bullshit around me, darkness, none of that. Like as it is in heaven, it is on earth. So we have to really live with that internally. Mm-hmm. And so I found my boyfriend, my spouse, and we were very, very argumentative. We had a great debate. Because I have a lot of science background, that he just it wasn't enough for me. It was, but I realized that the science was the spectrum in my life that was the physical, that didn't lead me into
Makes
faith
sense.
to have Jesus in my life, to actually work in me. It says you have to be dwellable. How will he dwell in you if you're not showing him your salvation? Your salvation is in physical things and not in speaking to him and not in wanting him or being thirsty for him. And that's the thing. It's like this one person. If it was your mom, you'd tell her you love her every day, right? Mm-hmm. It's like because she made you, she took care of you and blah. Some people don't have those good childhoods. But it's like if you did, you would. And so you do the same thing with Jesus because he did what? He died for all of our sins so we can rejoice. Why worry and carry weight through all of our lives to where we can't be in a room, really?
Damn.
We cracked out. I seen sisters laying on the street the other day. It made me so sad. In the sunlight, like just sleep. And I'm like, I know not everybody's going to get saved in my belief in God. And in any religion, it says it. Mm-hmm. Not everyone. We're trying. But it's in every religion, in every foundation of anything. Not everybody's going to learn the teaching of the word of God or all the science or all the English or all the math or all of anything.
There's just too much.
There's a lot. So, but to have it in your heart is a different thing. It says love is greater than faith. And it truly is. So to love people and put that first, that's what I had to do because I realized he was the only reason why that seeped into me is because I loved him. So I was able to understand the word of God completely, that this person isn't trying to fight me. He's literally giving me the delivery from the Bible and telling me that, with all of this science, you get to God and he'll be like, where'd you get all your salvation at? You're cool. You didn't have me involved. You had man involved though, and the world involved, the worldly view involved for your salvation, but you didn't have me involved. You didn't have you didn't have faith involved for me to understand. I don't know, you made it. There's a prophetic vision of a man going up with God, and he said to make these bones into living, into living. And also there were beings living in their own like realms.
Okay.
And I might have this mixed up. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but there was a prophetic vision of basically humans living in their own realms, in their own individualized realms. So yeah, we can go there, but you see, I need guidance. The Lord is my shepherd. I'm not about to be out here in some black abyss. We go in space and don't find shit. Like we dig in the ocean and don't find shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we are meant to be what we're meant to be, and we are who we are. And there's no changing that. Like what we go through, we go through. Mm-hmm. And it's either you hang out with these people or you don't hang out with these people, and you make your life good or you make your life bad.
Yeah.
It's like two great decisions. And those are the things I kind of teeter-totter with, is like really like who I will spend my time with, because I feel like I do place a lot of energy in things to where like even this conversation, I love it. But like, okay, like if I were to have the conversation elsewhere, it's just like very, very draining. And like I've had shows where I'll throw up or I'll pass out because it's so much energy being let out that I haven't truly reciprocated myself being in the room all the way, but I'm there in the room for...
Well, at that point, it's also hard for you to understand like the capacity of what's actually going on.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, we've had a show and police are banging on the thing, or like, it's just like, damn, like none of this had to happen. Like I need some water. I walk in. Oh, you ready to go in now? Like, I'm about to pass out. Like
I'm about to 8 Mile this shit right now. Where's the restroom?
Right, Mom, spaghetti, palms, slutty, like. And but life is good. And ever since I had this great conversation with my boyfriend about taking the Lord, Jesus as my guidance and my teacher, it brought me more to reconcile with the things that I was doing in the past. Because that's another thing. It's hard to let go of what you think you already... I know this.
All the consistencies
melanin,
that were happening
neuromelanin,
in the past.
pheomelanin, uromelanin. You have pineal glands. Your pineal gland releases DMT when you sleep from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. You can trip. You can jump into astral project. You can do all types of shit. But you need to have guidance. Everything needs guidance. If babies ran on the world... If babies were just babies in the world, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like with no mother, like there has to be a guidance there. That's why the mother comes first. That's why the mother, that they always ask, is the egg or the mom? The mother comes first. God spoke man into existence. But we can desire whatever we want to desire. It's just the mother comes first. We'll see that physically every single time.
Yeah.
And in science. And I love doing that too. Bringing up the science point is that it is true. And I'll show you to the degree of how God works in the science too. Like
how is that? I want to know
like
that.
Like this right here, like race.
Okay.
Like we have this thing on race, and it's like, you know, black people, white people, whatever, melanin popping, la la la. Like you have melanin. You have 3 types of melanin. You have melanin. 3 types of melanin: uromelanin, neuromelanin, and pheomelanin. Uromelanin is what many of us have, all of us have, actually. It's the greatest
Every single person.
It's the greatest amount of melanin that we have. So some people get skin that's pink or red or freckled or brown or black or whatever type of color. That's uromelanin. So there's different types of shades of the melanin. So then you have neuromelanin that's in your brain. It leaks from your melanocyte inside of your brain, and it comes out purely black. As it drips out, it goes, so that's for your neurons in your brain. So this is just operating inside of your brain. And then you have, so you get that from like bananas, and there's different types of fruits you can get. It helps you sleep. It helps with your sleep and wake. If you take I used to take melatonin, but I don't do that anymore. I don't take vitamins or like the melatonin vitamins anymore. I just eat fruit.
But then I guess like the lack
makes you very drowsy.
The lack of like neuromelatonin could actually like keep you awake and keep you more energized too. Then.
Yes. Or very tired. So if you have a lot of it, it can make you very tired. So like people just we just got out the car, we were tired as fuck. That's melanin working. That's melatonin working. It's putting you to sleep. It's a hormone. And then you have pheomelanin, that makes your hair red. It makes Aborigine black people. It's the reason why two black people can come together and have someone the same color as you with blonde hair, or a whole black baby with blue eyes. That's pheomelanin. The blue is pheomelanin. It's all melanin. And so
more like visual features.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm going to break it down like this. God made us all to survive in this environment differently, per where we were born, per the people who first created us. So people had sex in Africa, people had sex in Mexico. You're going to be able to survive and live per the sun, per the food you eat. But due to the proteins you eat, so melanin is actually in your DNA. It's what holds melanin together is protein. So those things.
Okay.
That's protein. Melanin on your DNA is long. It's
all linked by
things.
protein.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the protein you eat can vitalize your DNA, can refresh your DNA due to sunlight exposure, so your skin, what you do to your hair, what you eat. So a white person could have more melanin inside of their arteries than a black person can have on their skin and live longer than a black person can from the fact that their arteries, because everything pumps in then out. So we're taking sunlight and it's going into our bodies. So sometimes black people can get skin cancer or others can get skin cancer, but that's only from the capacity of the protein and the nutritions they've been putting inside of their body throughout their life, because their DNA is built of what? Protein. It's made together by protein. Your melanin will survive through the protein. And so you want to be black? Cool, be black. You want to be white? Cool, be black. You want to talk about how a black person can't be with a white person or this person can't be with that person? The fact is that we're supposed to be fruitful. Why? So melanin can expand. We don't know anything. It's the fact that we can even see each other and now we can create something together. So, but I mean, that's just in my heart. Maybe some people just, it's like whatever over their head, but it's like, we have these conscious racist conversations, bring it to Christianity. If Jesus was Mexican, first of all, his name is Jesus. If Jesus was Mexican, how the fuck will we be acting right now? We're shunning out Mexicans from jumping the border. They can't even come over here. So I'm just saying.
Well, he's actually from like Israel, and then like the whole like Iraq, Iran stuff going on.
I'm just saying, like, we change up roles, like we do the what ifs. Like I'm saying, it's either worse or I'm not really sure, dude. But at the end of the day, flesh is flesh. The word is different. The voice, the spirit, we were spoken into existence. Spoken, like the living word. We're the living word. This whole conversation we can't grasp onto, but this shit is. I'm saying, bro, this is some shit we can't escape. So I just trying to understand why niggas are out here being racist and right. I don't give a fuck what you got on your face, what you smell like, what you doing with your time. Bro, I just want to love you and I want to be here for you, because everybody is going through bullshit. Whether you want to put it to the side or not, even I'm going through bullshit. I don't wake up every day. I have to understand, I have to look at myself. Because it's like, as much as we talk about other people, it's like, what am I doing? Like, I start straightening up, cleaning up the house and stuff like that. Like, before, like, I'll try. Like, he tells me, I wake up, and he's like, I'm not trying to wake up like this. You're going to have to change up the way you wake it up. And I'm like, you know what? Like, that is true. I get quiet. It's like, it is true. Like, nobody wants to hang out with people who bring them sour fruit and sadness. And so I've been working on that. My desire for it is like, because it's like, doesn't everybody want to be good and great and nice and happy?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I feel like everybody just wants to be the one person to be great and happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then it's like, fuck it. Like, because when I'm up here, I'm like, I'm looking for that nigga that's like, with me, because I don't want to give no fucks. Why are we caring like that? We have a whole room with all this fucking, we done built the fucking, we done paying rent, we've got water running.
Yeah.
And people are paying money to do bullshit, to stand on a wall. I was at an event yesterday. I'm the only nigga dancing. I performed. I'm the only person dancing. I'm not even trying to say that as in a place like I'm the only person dancing, but yeah. I was the only person dancing. Me and my king were dancing. But
then I think the way like everything is depicted nowadays, like it's really embarrassing to be like embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to like want to have fun and want to like be free, because the way, like, at least our country is built up from my point of view is that, like, it's just not cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool to just, like, be yourself and have fun and be free, be wild, you know, like, put your fucking hair down.
People think you're
if you really
crazy.
want. Yeah, people think you're fucking
And
crazy,
like,
you know what I mean?
Like, know your brain. They're like,
bruh.
nah, that nigga's fucked up. Like, I met a guy outside, and I thought dude was loopy. Like, I'm not about to talk to no stranger on the street. He started chopping up with me. He's telling me how he has a garden and all types of stuff. And his son is 6 foot tall, and his son is the same height as this weed plant he's growing. And he's like, I have a whole bunch of fruit in my backyard, and I just want to sell it, and I want to learn how to make more of it. And then he, like, points out this other dude. He's like, that dude's a little crazy. And I'm like, oh, shit. And the guy comes over, he starts rapping. He's like, but it's da. I'm like, oh, he was right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you could be you.
But, you know, I was
cool,
having this conversation
crazy.
literally with just Ange yesterday in the car, and, like, I think when it comes to, like, we go to, like, these social events, right? 9 times out of 10, we're going to see you at the next one. So whatever you did in the last one is what I'm going to remember you for. But then let's say we see somebody on the street.
Yeah.
We're more than likely to share a shit ton of information about ourselves because it's like, well, I'm probably never going to see this person again. And even if they do tell somebody, I'm just an after image of whoever they think it is. So it's not even like the true story of what I'm actually portraying to them.
Then he got a car. I started seeing him more often. I was like, fuck. He's like, you got a show? Let me pull up to your show. I was like, you're like 40. His name's Calvin. He's a cool dude. He be knocking people out in the streets if people come up to them and try to fight. He's like their security. Like, he's not a fighter, but he used to be, like, back in the day. I'm telling you his business because he's told me his story. But, like, he stands outside of 7-Eleven, watches people, and, like, he will fuck you up. Like, don't mess with anybody. Like, no one. Like, just be nice wherever you go, because he's, like, there for everybody. Yeah. And he's like, don't mess with that dude. He's crazy, but he's very nice. Be nice to him. Like, I'm like, cool, for sure. You know, you never know who you're going to meet. Yeah. And he might be my security guard one day.
Hey, man, it sounds like the perfect security guard, though, to be quite frank.
Yeah, might hire him for my mama. I'm not playing. Shoot.
So Ventage, man, we didn't even get to talk about, like, any music whatsoever. But I love it, though. I love going through podcasts and not talking about music. Yes.
We purged, bro.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
but
you.
let's talk about music, though. So then, where do you like draw inspiration from? Because I can't pinpoint it to anybody.
Okay. Well, my mom is an awesome singer. And I grew up around her. She used to sing in the doorway in my room. You just see her silhouette. Her name's Stormy. And she used to have jazz shows. And me and my older brother would be on a bunk bed. And she would rehearse in the doorway. And we just listened to her singing, like, Whitney Houston, Anita Baker.
Damn.
All of the bangers. Like, The Wiz. I learned how to sing The Wiz with her when I was, like, 11 years old. It's called Home. And that song is crazy. Like, I don't know, Ma, you crazy. So she taught me how to sing. She tried to. So I watched. I was like, I wasn't the type of person who was good at following directions. I'm the type of person who's good at, like, kind of like watching, and then, or like after a few times doing it, like, on my own, then I'll bring it to the table.
Yeah.
But that's only because of how my mom was. She had, like, a piece of paper in front of my face, like, if you're singing, don't be breathing, don't make the paper move. And she would bring the tissue paper. Yeah. Oh, hell, the tissue. I can't do it. So, and the tissue
like
paper's got to not move.
Yeah.
And so whatever. And then my big brother, he inspired me so much. He showed me how to beatbox, how to make beats on the table, how to write bars.
Beatbox for us really quick.
On the lunch table.
Okay.
Lunch. With my bro Nico. Lunch table.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I fuck with that. And you know how I know you're legit too? Because it's like I could see the way your mouth is moving. Because one of my homies, he's actually like a pro beatboxer.
Oh,
so
shit.
then when I would see him beatbox, like he would move exactly how you're doing it, like with the rhythms, and I'm like, yo, like that shit's crazy. because that's like a whole lost art form in hip hop that
True.
nobody wants to do anymore.
Somebody open up the track doing some shit like that. I don't know. And then throw it in the track, like with the beat all around it. That's what I want to do. Probably next, like get in the studio and do beatbox and like try to like do something.
Well, because one of my favorite like old school records from back in the day is like the Human Beatbox song.
Yes.
That shit's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Because it's that authenticity of like before the digital age, before we could just like simply make beats off the laptop.
And
it's like, and it goes back to like that physical form. This is what we're physically doing like right now.
Yes, and everybody is a part of it. It's a whole real vibe. I think like nowadays we try to do it. Like I've been a part of so many different ciphers that it's like, okay, nobody's really freestyling here. And and I can't even get in the damn circle. It's so damn tight because somebody got some shit that was written that's hard as fuck that they trying to spit it right now that they won't let everybody be in the circle.
Yeah.
To be involved, and there's no beatboxer. And then if there's somebody who has a beat, got it on his radio, on his little speaker, which is cool. I think like me personally, I like a real vibe. Like don't come with some premeditated shit.
Well,
bro.
Being
you're not performing at a show.
like being at a radio station, right? We have a lot of rappers come in to freestyle. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, these motherfuckers are writing shit, right? And you could just tell, hey, what beat do you want? Can I get this one? Very specific. All right, cool. Oh, the melody catches the exact way the original song goes. I'm like, okay, that's obviously written out. But the one time we had this dude named Stupid Young come in, he's actually from Long Beach. I could tell nothing was like fucking written down. He just like went from it. Mind you, he was repeating his words, every so often, which is cool.
But you knew.
But like I felt his energy and I felt how commanding it was in the room. And I'm like, that was probably the best freestyle we had because it was just so raw and it was so real as opposed to like 16 bars of like something extremely fire. And I'm just like, bruh, like I don't feel the energy from you. And that's the huge difference between it.
I think it's because we're like such in a state of mind of like, I really want this person to be fly as fuck. Like as soon as I listen to them, they better bring me some fly shit. And it has nothing to do with their spirit. It's just like, I'm gonna bring some donuts and I'm gonna put a grill on for the whole feed and all this shit. And ain't nobody gonna care about my heart or my spirit. They just gonna hope that I drip. You feel me? And that's just it. But really, the first of all, why I fell in love with him is because he freestyles like that. Like we sat in the car I have voice memos hours long. I have a year long of voice memos in my laptop of just us freestyling. And all fresh. And I'm like, I can fuck with you. Because you real. Like, you real. Like, you're not going to tell me some shit you premeditated years ago and you like, and you the woman of my life. No. Like you told it to the last girl. Like, I like the fact that you are free with me. That you'll be free with me. That's cool. I like that shit. A bunch of people get around me and they're not being free. Like, I don't know. This is why I don't trust niggas. Like...
Well, I think in a sense, too, it's like you realize how comfortable you are with yourself, so then he also sees how comfortable, or you also see how comfortable he is. Again, energy attracts energy.
Yeah, true. Because, we get really comfortable. So, I mean, we've gone through a lot, and it's been such a great experience. Everybody, get you a partner, man. Get you a partner. And go through these experiences together because it's great. Like, you don't want to not have somebody to have, to be right there. Like, that shit's special. And if I could broadcast anything, it'd be get you a partner, bro. A real one, a partner in crime. But
someone who understands, someone who knows, somebody you just, like, genuinely fuck with.
Yeah, I was doing my makeup on the curb outside the other day, and he was helping me make sure I was doing my makeup right, Somebody like that. Like, blot over here, babe. Put the dark here on your forehead. Your eyebrow moving that way. You might want to... I'm like, thank you. So...
I mean, she was over here teaching me, like, so this is foundation. It's like, okay. Eyeshadow. Okay. Then one day, I think it was just last week, she quizzed me, like, okay, so what am I wearing today? Foundation, eyeshadow, I don't know, gloss. I'm over here just like pulling like everything from the back of my mind. Like, I know this word. This is what I think it is. Oh, it just so happened to be 5 out of 5, so I'm good.
Right.
But you know what I mean? And it's like communication, just like we have in like interpersonal relationships, is the one thing that we need just as somebody who's running a podcast, somebody who's like a musician. Like communication is the number one thing that we need to convey in order for people to understand us.
Yeah.
Do you feel like people understand you?
You know, sometimes. I think sometimes, because like I you know, but also I feel as if I'm an expanding person. We all are. We're all expanding and finding our expressions and things like that. So I feel like when I can execute the way that I feel and like kind of understand like the different many ways that I could say something, then I'll feel like maybe like they understand me because I've said it like this type of way, like girl, I gotta piss, like, you know, they'll understand me. But if I'm just sitting there, you know, trying to figure out how I'm gonna tell them, like, I might pee on my damn self. So, and I'm that person too. Like, we gonna have to pull over the Uber.
Yo, shout out to the middle schools, man, because I remember being like 3rd, 4th grade. You'd always raise your hand if you had to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Need to use the restroom. No, wait. I'd just be in the chair like this.
I straight pissed in the chair one time. I'm not even playing.
It was kindergarten, and I just remember like, because I didn't know how to communicate that back then, that I needed to pee, because I could usually just get up. I just fucking
and you
like,
can realize
and
the
I just
energy
like
of someone
pissed
being
myself, and then
yeah.
there were like, you know, all my homies around me just looking at me like,
Go get your pants from the
Like-
nurse's office.
yo, Nico just pissed. I'm like, fuck.
Them tiny ass pants from the nurse's office. I used to pee on myself every day. Like, I was that child. You know that one child? That was me. Literally. And I used to get bagged on for as a kid. I really could care less because my brother worked it out of me. Like, I'm good on getting bagged on pee. Like, I'll come for your neck.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I was that kid. You know, I went to the doctor's office. They told me I had a small bladder. Like, a smaller than normal bladder. So, like you be taking your 2-3 pees a day. I be taking, like...
6.
Nah, bro, like 30 of them hoes.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Like, we gonna need, you know, them little cup things with them little straws that they have for the vagina. I'm gonna have to get me one of those, with a little hole in the bottom. I'm not playing with, you ever seen Fergie when Fergie peed on stage? I'm not trying to do that.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me a little sack or something.
Have you ever watched Scary Movie 3?
Yes.
Yeah, that one part with the aliens where they're just like pissing out their fingers. I think you probably need that.
I need one of
You
those.
need one of them.
Yeah, because the crowd gonna get hypey if I do some shit like that.
Champagne.
It's go time.
Here we go. Ventage reenacting the R. Kelly case. I'm just playing.
I wanna pee on you with my fingers too.
You know that! Dave Chappelle. I like you.
Dave Chappelle hard, dude. He one
shit.
hard ass dude. I can't get rid of him. I always listen to we be listening to Dave Chappelle. I just listened to him recently. I'm like, you know what's funny about him? That voice. He just like, yeah, you can't help but freaking laugh. Like, and I closed the door and then
Charlie Murphy.
And I was like, I'm like, shit. This thing's
Dave
hilarious.
Chappelle, and you know, me and Taylor have this debate all the time because her favorite comedian's Kevin Hart, and I always tell her
love
like,
him.
you know, one of my favorite comedians will forever be Dave Chappelle. Two different sides of comedy, but at least like back in the day, I understood like the tenacity of what Dave Chappelle was like trying to like put shine on, you know, like how crazy the entertainment industry could be with those Charlie Murphy skits. How an R. Kelly, somebody pissing on somebody, like he's shedding light to that. And I'm like, this guy got balls.
Like playing basketball with Prince.
Yes. Like all this
Prince played basketball with Prince. What is Prince gonna wear on the court? Oh, he showed you already. He's gonna be sweaty and everything. Was it Prince or was it?
No, it was Prince.
Oh my gosh! And he had Rick James.
You want some pancakes, bitches? Fuck your couch. Fuck your couch. And I'm like, bruh. He just knew what to do.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is that I'm actually gonna have a comedian in here like within the next week or so. Yeah. But like the conversation surrounding like free speech, how I feel like back then, free speech is definitely a thing.
And I think to understand it as comedy too, like, cause I am that type of person. Like, I almost feel like I want to be a comedian one day, but at the same time, I'm still, you know.
I mean,
I'm vintage. I'm making music.
Donald
and
Glover did it.
But I love comedy so much, and I love making people laugh. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I love it. And my friend will hit me up, and she'll be like, "Oh, tell me a joke," and I'll tell her something, and like she'll start laughing. She thinks it's funny. Like, I think, what did I say to her? I said, she's like, "Tell me something funny," and I was like, "I'm so damn skinny when I stand in the wind, my titties flap." She was like this. But she couldn't see me. Of course, it was on the text. So I'm like, how? I really got to be funny. How? So I'm like, okay, this is like writing music. It literally is. So I'm like, okay, well, if I could do that, like, you know, just dumb down. No, I'm not going to dumb down. I'm just going to like write the bars and like figure out if it's funny. But I always find inspiration and truly like my alone time and like who I really am, like what I like doing. And I think like, cause you asked me that question where I get inspired from, and it's like, it is a bunch of other people, but I think it's those people that make me realize how different and special I am. To like, it's like, keep like, I'm gonna go, bro, keep doing you, but keep being special at being you, and you're gonna be like the fucking shit, cause there's like no other route, nobody else can be you. It's like that for me. That's what I've always felt as a kid. Like, if I just do this, this, and this, I'll be great at being me, and that'll just be it.
Well, you know, I think a lot of the faults come from we see how other people have escalated in their lives, right? Like, we look at a Jay-Z, a Kanye West, and a Diddy, and we're always just like, well, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
When the fact is, you can't be like them. That is simply just the best version of them that
like
they are.
Like, they have meetings together.
Yeah.
About
you know
shit.
what I mean? But like when it comes down to it, what I feel like they ended up doing at one point in their life, at least once, they just sat back by themselves, probably in a dark room, meditating to some certain degree, and said like, okay, well, how can I channel in the best person within myself to show everybody else? And it's when we, you know, going back to like idolizing other people, we go back to like idolizing other people and wanting to be so much like other people that we end up losing somewhere in there. Like,
like if Jesus was more interested in being a king, like he wouldn't have done what he was supposed to do. And I think
kings don't do that.
Yeah, like
they don't bear crosses up hills.
So I just believe that exactly. Like Beyonce is not Sierra because Beyonce is Beyonce and Sierra is Sierra, and we'll always be in a confinement of competition if we want to. Like, but there is no competition. It's tribes. It's like when you go to the Grammys, all these niggas are performing right after each other. Like, hopefully they talk to each other in the back. Like, hopefully they can go eat and chill in the studio and be like, hey, bro, you trying to get out of here? Like, that type of stuff. Like, not like, oh, no, I really don't fuck with the hoe. Like, I don't, like, we gonna do a whole diss record track and stuff like
FYI,
that.
we can have more than one female rapper in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can have more than one.
Yep.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and Beyonce and Ventage, they can all exist in the same world, and it'll all be fine.
I'm trying to pull up. My mom loves Cardi B. Money.
Man. Money.
I got a baby. I got a man. I need some money.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
I really like your energy.
Thank you.
And I really think this is something that everybody can take for, where it's like, I don't even know what we spoke about, to be honest. It was just like a whole bunch of information, but I think like the main thing that I'm getting from all of this is just that like we can always appreciate the spontaneity that comes within these conversations, whether it's like, whether we feel like we're going one way and then we take like a hard left and, you know.
Yeah.
Like, these conversations can go anywhere, and at the end of the day, as long as we're just, like, enjoying the now, we can enjoy anything else that happens.
Because I'm like, dude, I got questions for you. But
what do you got?
But at the
Go
same
ahead.
time, because I know that, like, okay, it makes your part be played more easier when you have an actual subject to, or an artist to have a conversation with that you have some interest in. You'll bring up some great questions. They might not even be the same as the artist you had last week because it's just whatever, like that person. But it's so funny. I woke up with that spontaneous vibe this morning. I was like, fuck it. But I felt like that this morning. And last night, too, I was like, we got a big day tomorrow. I woke up like, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, you said you were out like hella last night,
I was
huh?
out late. We were up till like maybe 4. maybe 4 a.m.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I haven't had a day like that in a minute. Actually, that's a lie. We had that day like a couple of weeks ago. We were partying. It was bad. It was really bad. But you know, like even when it comes down to my interviews, it's like I don't have a list of questions.
Yeah.
Like my best hope is just that the person who I have on the other side just enjoys having a conversation.
Yeah.
So when I find somebody who's just not so gung ho about like,
What are
man,
you
this is
gonna say?
music. What am I gonna say? This is how like everything's so scripted. This is what the narrative is gonna be. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, everyone's narrative, like you know what your narrative is. It's just a matter of if you really want that out to the world.
Yeah.
And whether you have like a positive or negative reflection on it, somebody can always learn from your experience and your story. Not something that's just so narrated and fabricated by the record labels or whoever's whispering in your ear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And I'm like, I feel like honestly, like videos like this probably go viral, facts, because it's like we talked about race, we talked about Jesus, and those are things that are very controversial. Like we're probably just missing like being transgender or some shit. Like I don't know, because these are very, very striking conversations like in the world that we will deny to have, and we'll be like, oh, you're fucking up the energy with that stuff, like, you know. And then because everybody has their own perception, but really it's, if we can understand, then we know what part we can play in the room or whatever. So,
well, you know, it all just comes down to the fact that we're all human beings. You know what I mean? I grew up in San Francisco where there's gay people everywhere. At the same time,
I was gay for 5 years.
Oh,
I had me a
shit.
bitch. I had me 2 bitches. And I forgive them for their sins. But, you know, I did. And
yeah.
I'm the type of person that if somebody wants to love me, I'm love is love type of person. So when he came and when they came, I was like, cool, you gonna love me? For sure. Like, you know, I'm down with it. It was nothing physical. I'm not that type of person. I like actually hanging out with people and going outside. And we gonna be some motherfucking kids. Or you're gonna leave. Because, like, that's all I knew growing up with my big bro in my household. And it's just, if I can't have that natural feel of, I am childish, but I am an adult, I don't know. It kind of gets me. But I still make sure that I have my own place, you know, that I'm not denying anybody and pushing people away, but still maintaining myself. Probably people looking at me like, okay.
Because I think the goal at the end of the day is like, okay, well, how can I get to the position I want to be in without pushing people down at the same time? You know what I mean? Like, how can I elevate myself and elevate other people at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Because
like,
realistically, if we're all pulling together, okay, we're all moving at the same pace then. Like, there's no point in just boom.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like this, what my gift isn't for me, it's for all of us. And it's for all of the people. It's like I like to say that I could sing this shit all damn day. I know what the fuck it sounds like. I know what it does to me. At this point, I'm practicing it for you guys. Like, I have no feel in the song right now until I get in front of you guys. And that's just it. Like, and even when I'm at rehearsal, I'm almost like, I don't want to rehearse because I'm about to pour out my energy in the room. There's more than one person in this room.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel. Like, I feel like a fisher for Christ, and that I'm gonna bring the children, my friends, my homies. You can be like, oh, you got a bunch of homies for sure. Like, you got a king. Oh, you did some great. You got some great logic throughout the life, because you know some people did this. Dang, you got a whole tribe. You know, like, but see, because it's like, if you go hang out outside and your mom tells you go outside, you make some friends, and you bring some wrong friends home.
Yeah.
She don't want them friends in your house. Why? Because she taught you how to be good and great so that you can go outside and be great. Not to bring in sour bullshit, to make greater friends, to make a bigger tribe. So you can have birthday parties. You could have a quinceañera. So you could have an actual funeral. Some people ain't got funerals.
Yeah.
Because they ain't been there. Like, or... you know, they ain't got the money. And that's the other thing. There's so much money tied on the things. Everybody get life insurance. My mom sells it. Hit me up. Because that shit is important. They take more money from you when you're dead. That's why they're after Michael Jackson's money still.
Yeah.
Residuals. This nigga got money forever. And Tupac, money. money. Like, it's just, so make sure that check's coming straight to your house,
Mm-hmm.
to your familia, for real.
Ventage. One thing I definitely want to ask you. You have Sip Me out right now.
Yes.
Can we expect a project later this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been working with 1245 production, and I've been making some new hits, some new songs, and glory to God, he been tapping in like hecka. And I'm going in the studio to do dubs on it. I'm like, what was this bitch on last Tuesday? Trying to refinish the song. Like, so I'm telling them to send me the tracks so I can rehearse them and then come back in and finish the tracks, because I'll literally freestyle or have just written it, or it's just not in the way that I want it to be. Because, like, I'm in the studio, so it's different from performing. It's like when I get on the stage, it's completely different. Even when I was performing with show tracks yesterday, those show tracks were crazy because I was all over them, because how I recorded it was separate from the way I could jump all over the show tracks, because how I recorded it was in a place where it was in a pocket, and it wasn't like, nah, nah, nah. I could do all that in the show where niggas are like, yes, like, you know? And so, but I want to make the tracks are becoming more like that now, to where it's like all there, and it'll be at the show. And
got it.
And well, at least the feel, like the actual feel of the experience of being at a show, like the liveliness. So 1245's been doing that for me. I have a song called Bobbing Around, which is like basically like this whole conversation that we had.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person. I don't know what's wrong with me. Sometimes my brain be like,
nah, you just think on
you
a
think
different
about that,
level.
and you think about that. And we just have many neurons that just like they go off, and you know, like in our brain. And you know, I smoke weed, and we have neurotransmitters. So when you smoke weed, you're basically filling the void of that's needed inside of your brain for the neurons to properly cooperate with each other around one another. So, like, some folks are like, you know, weed is bad, but then there's also great weed that works. Like, some people make shit weed, but there's very organic weed that you can take that is for your brain and your neurons, so that you can think properly when you're around people and not just be stuck in one thought. That's what some weed does, is it gets you at this like crazy ass high to where you can't get out of a thought, and you just want to be smoking organic weed.
Yeah.
That's just it. Like, you don't want to be smoking some shit homie grew, or you pulling up at the shop and you don't know what farm.
King Daddy Kush.
Yeah, like grow some shit on top of the fridge. You can have 4 plants in Cali. So,
have you ever considered ayahuasca?
oh hell no.
Okay.
But it's a plant, isn't it?
It's like
Like a stick, or
it's like this drug that induces this chemical that's only found in birth and death.
oh, DMT.
Yeah, it has DMT.
Dimethyltryptamine. So
Yeah.
it releases when you're asleep, and it also releases when you're dead, and it releases when you're born. So when you're asleep, when you're dreaming in your dream states, like you have weird dreams that are very, 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 that seem very real,
Yeah.
or very fucking weird. Like that's DMT. It's a drug that releases only between the times of 2 a.m. and 3 or 4 a.m. And
Specifically during those times, or during your REM?
Specifically when you're sleeping. So
But, like,
your
during-
natural sleep.
Oh, okay.
Like a normal person would go to sleep like, 12 maybe. Like I go to sleep around 12. That's when I would go to sleep, and that's when that happens, or after 10. So I think like it's definitely like an accumulation of information, this science shit from human and man, to say like from 2 to 3 a.m. everybody's bodies go off like this. But it's really when you're in dream state, when you're in
REM.
sleep, yes. That now this is when you can have God-like dreams. Also, like this is when you're very in a place where you're asleep. So shit can happen. You can have evil dreams, shit that you've thought about, all types of shit, and messages can be in your dreams. And I think like, if anything, it don't get no more real than that. Like them damn dreams,
Yeah.
like you can't even remember that shit. Just like you can't remember drugs, like how you felt when you was on the damn shit. I don't know what I was on, but I was, the dream was wild. Like due to the proteins, the dream was wild. Like one time I woke up like 5, 4, 3, and I was like, oh shit. Like, cause I used to be the type I still am. I'm a ninja warrior in my dreams. Like,
Oh shit.
it'll be like, I'm at a school or at a house or in a whole old house, and like it's like an apocalypse or some shit, and niggas are running around and like. And there's like this big ass thing somewhere, like chasing everybody. And I'm like, oh, fuck that. I see quilts dangling from the sky. I'm like, quilts in the skies. So I'm grabbing the quilts and flipping and shit and jumping on buildings and parkour, bro. Parkour.
Ninja Warrior slash. It sounds like a Disney movie. It sounds like some sort of Disney movie I watched. I don't know, man.
One time you were in my dream, and I was like, "You ready?" And we were about to fly. Like we literally was like, and I was like, "We literally have to have faith with this, because like you will not fly in the dream." Like, and I'm
Hilarious.
like, and we just lifted off and just flew away out of the fucked up city wherever we were at, and like, you know, have the next dream. But it's just like that's just how it happens. Is like your neurons and your brain. That shit is just consistent.
I feel like it would be really cool if you made a song that kind of like drew a storyline of like all these crazy ass dreams you have.
Ooh, that would be nice. I gotta remember some of them. That'd be cool.
Just put me in the credits.
I got you.
Yeah. Inspired
Nico!
by I'm playing.
Nah, that's hard.
Vintage. I
The
love
Muse.
this conversation.
Muse by Nico.
Right.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you, Vintage?
You can find me at the lunch table.
Yay!
And you can also find me on Instagram. I'm very frequent on Instagram. You hit me up in my DM. Don't slide in there. But hit me up, and it's Vintage, VENTAGE _. And then I also have Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Tidal.
LimeWire.
All of it. Shazam me, baby.
Napster.
And shoot, I'm working to drop more music, because I realize like on Spotify, people will stop following you when you don't drop music. Like,
Really?
Yeah, because they've connected to one song. Right? And so if you have old things that are on there, you just have to be consistent. It's like, I don't want to work with somebody who's not consistent.
Yeah.
So, and I have music. I wasn't in a place to release my music last year. So I was doing a bunch of different shows. I performed Sip Me for a whole year and like 8 months before I released it, because I didn't have a place to go record. And now I'm at 1245 Studio. We got like 19 tracks. So we're like working towards 50 tracks before the summer, and I'm working towards 150 for the summer.
Oh shit.
So
you working.
I'm working, and it's all for us. Like, we ain't got no more time to be out here talking about this bullshit. We need to be out here like, did you hear that shit? No. Vintage said, and now you go rejoice. Like, I was just telling my boyfriend, imagine if we raise our kids like to like going like this. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice. We will rejoice every day, like every day with the children. Like, imagine the accountability the child will have in showing their salvation to their mother and their father and the Lord every single day. Like, all this bullshit's happening, but I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna go wash some. I'm gonna do some push-ups. I'm gonna go outside and take a jog. I'm gonna go clean up my mom's something. It's like, when you're going through this stuff where you feel like there's no way out, and you're feeling a rush of hardship and anger, and you're upset, find a way out. Like, get some donuts, sip some milk, drink some coffee,
Smoke
draw.
some weed.
I don't even know how to. Well, I know how to draw, but I'll just draw with like my left hand and just do some ridiculous shit just to release some energy. Like, and I put the shit on Instagram one time. People were watching the whole thing, and it was like some weird ass dog looking thing, and I did it to a Kanye song. I can't even think of the song, but it's like, just find a release, a place where it's comfortable for you, what you can do with your time. If you don't feel like doing that, do something else. Like, yeah, fuck it, bite your nail off. Like, you're not affecting anybody by biting your nails. Niggas have this weird thing that is like, when a person is biting their nails, they're nervous, or when they're checking their teeth or tapping their thing. It's just like, bro, mind your own fucking business. like seriously. Like, I'm working on it because, like, my boyfriend, he'd be, like, like touching his toes sometimes, and I'll hear it, and, like, he'll flick his nails, but it's, like, you're not understanding because you don't want to understand. You just don't want to understand that a person truly just wants to go like this for a moment. That's it.
Yeah. And
you can't take that. If you could just understand that a person is just biting their nails, or, like, how about just burped, or...
I like
How
to
about
chew
it's just
ice.
as human as you? Yeah, like, you chew ice. Like imagine, like she just while you're chewing your ice, she's chewing her nails. Right.
It's like whatever. Let me do me.
Right.
Let
Like
me do me.
kids act buck wild, and you get along with them in the room. But like
As soon as an adult does it, it's kind of like, bruh.
you're not
What
a
did you do?
child. I'm a baby, bro. I'm a big body baby, bro. So we just learning out here, man. I mean, I do get a little aggravated with some stuff that people do. Like I don't really like when people like get very in my space. Like I can't really explain it. Like it's almost like a touchy-feely thing. Like I meet girls.
What's your sign?
My sign is supposed to be a Sagittarius, like some fire sign.
I would have had an explanation if you were a Cancer, but I actually don't have an explanation for a Sagittarius.
My mom's a Cancer. But it's like I don't really like I don't like being all touchy-feely. Like I don't like when people are like I meet girls who are just very like, oh yeah, like queen, like yeah, like all sis, and I'm like, okay, you just touched my nipple, like move, like like I'm not trying to be all like
all up on you and shit.
Yeah, like my besties, like they twerk and stuff. They twerked on me before and stuff like that. Like I'm cool with that, but like I like to have my bubble of space to where I can still be buck wild, because if I just this is when my Tourette's flip off, like where I'm just like, turn on some fucking music, like like I want to dance, like I'm going outside, like I'm about to hop on my skateboard and go skate and come right back, like because like I don't like when people, I feel as if I need to bring them with me or like do some, like it's just too much, like I don't know.
It's too much
Can't
of
express it.
I guess it's kind of like you're not too much in control of what's happening in the situation.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't like the Philly thing. Like my boo could touch me, like, but my mom doesn't even like it when I give her hugs that much too. I had to think about that. I was like, one day I was trying to give my mom a hug. She was like, stop, and she was like, just give me a kiss. I'm like, dang, like she really don't like people that are saying like that. But it's like, you find a way to, understand.
We find ways to communicate and understand people, and to each his own.
Yeah,
to each his own. This is the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Ventage. Thank you for that beatbox session, by the way.
We out.